Hi, I'm Jared from KTWU. Coming up, a segment from Sunflower Journeys. If you enjoy it, please consider visiting ktwu.org to make a contribution.
The University of Kansas maintains an outdoor research facility in the hills north of Lawrence. In our first story, we find out what kind of research takes place here.
KU Field Station consists of about over 3,000 acres of land in various locations in northeast Kansas. About 2,000 acres of that land is located north of Lawrence.
KU Field Station is where KU researchers and others who visit us do research, particularly on natural plant communities or plants, or we have experimental ponds for work with fish or ecosystems. So it's a land base for KU researchers to do research.
The KU Field Station is basically a big outdoor laboratory. Faculty from the University of Kansas and others can carry out research on a scale that is simply too large for a conventional indoor laboratory.
The field station proper, which is where we're located at the moment, consists of a series of buildings, some dedicated to maintenance, a main facility which is an educational center called the Armitage Education Center, which has a classroom facility, also a couple of laboratories for conducting student and field type research.
The KU Field Station was started in 1947 on land that was donated to the university by Charles Robinson, the first governor of the state of Kansas.
On the death of his wife in 1911, about 1,300 acres were left to the University of Kansas, and in 1948, the first parcel of land that became what would now be part of the field station is the Fitch Natural History Reservation. 590 acres set aside for natural history research, preservation, and that was part of the original Robinson Farm.
Recently, a group of Kansas University alumni toured the field station. They were participants in the KU Mini College, which is sponsored by the KU College of Arts and Sciences.
Mini College began at KU 3 years ago. It was an outreach effort to connect the college with alumni. They get to be in touch with current faculty members. They hear that passion for research, excitement about projects, see the breadth of projects that we have going on in terms of education and research at KU.
The Mini College tour group saw a number of exciting research projects, beginning with the medicinal plant garden.
There's a great history of Native American use of plants throughout the Great Plains, and I've studied and written about that. And so you find that most of the plants that Native peoples use for medicine do indeed have active medicinal constituents. And yet, most of those plants haven't been studied in modern medicine or with modern techniques. So we have all this opportunity right out our back door.
The garden was established to grow the large quantities of medicinal plants that are needed for scientific research.
So that goes to the medicinal chemistry facilities at KU, and they do all sorts of extractions and screens. So we're doing screens for anti-cancer, for inflammation, antioxidants. So they're doing a lot of different screens to see if there's valuable compounds in these plants. So one of the plants we're growing is tall boneset. And it interests us a lot because it was used as a flu, illness, sickness remedy. And there's been more recent studies that show that yes, indeed, it does have immune stimulant properties. So we see it as something that needs to be looked at that really hasn't been studied very well. Mints are important because they've been used for digestive aids to help food digest, and they're also used a lot in tea. And personally, I'm really keen on seeing all of us drink more tea because it's a good way to get nutrients, into us, to get more antioxidant. So now we're going to study these and see, well, okay, we're going to do antioxidant tests on all these plants. Which of them have higher amounts of antioxidants, and how would we consider that as something to be beneficial to us?
Another ongoing research project at the KU Field Station deals with public sanitation.
I'm a faculty advisor for Engineers Without Borders, and our main project is in Azucillo, Bolivia. and they had no sanitation at all. There's open defecation on the ground, and so the main project that we're doing there is bringing in latrines so that they can have sanitation. We're building 27 of these, and what we wanted to do is to build composting latrines because they need this compost to help them agriculturally because they're subsistence farmers. But the problem was that we saw is that we were very concerned about certain parasites that would be in this compost that would be formed, and we couldn't find a technology that would disinfect this compost.
So the engineers at KU designed latrines that will compost the waste and use solar energy to kill parasites. Research that obviously has to be conducted outdoors.
We have 9 different solar compartments, and each one is using different materials, different insulations, different cover materials. They're all metered so we can measure temperatures down in the compost, above the compost, and external to these so that we can see how high a temperatures we can achieve. The essence of this is we can take all this data and we can figure out for any region in the world, how should we design latrines in that region of the world to achieve the temperatures required to get this disinfection.
And yet another research project is attempting to produce fuel from algae.
There's oils in this algae. We take the algae and we can treat it with chemicals. We can extract out those oils. We can transform those oils chemically and turn it into biodiesel. That would be just as good a biodiesel, we hope, as would be from soybeans or any other kind of diesel. If we didn't have the field station, then we would not be able to do the large-scale kind of cultivation that we need. We've got, more than 1,000 acres right here of land, a lot of what's in terrestrial, but a lot of it's also in ponds. And in order to have a large-scale production of algae, you have to have space. And so this provides us with space that's only minutes away from University of Kansas campus. And also, we're using the outdoors because our hypothesis is, our feeling is that the best way to grow the algae to create the biofuels is to use the outdoor systems and to use the algae that are naturally present in the world around us.
Other research projects include the study of native plant communities and how to preserve them, and research on land management practices and water quality issues. Things that are important not only in Kansas, but potentially worldwide.
Clearly, you just talked to Dr. Adams, and clearly sanitation, human sanitation is really important worldwide. Where the world is basically in need, I would state dire need of alternative sources of energy. I believe a field station like this is the setting and the essential setting for this kind of research. I think that many of us who are involved in research at the University of Kansas, we're pursuing goals that really have a potential impact for humanity.
Glad you could stop by to see a clip from Sunflower Journeys. There are more great local stories out there waiting to be discovered, but it takes help from viewers like you and me to make it happen. Visit ktwu.org right now to make a pledge.